Okay, so first question starts with, can you tell us more about your vision of workplace being the first stop in the roadmap to the corporate metaverse?
So, Workplace by Meta is all about helping our employees collaborate and bringing people together in a digital space. And as we think about the corporate metaverse, it's all going to be everything in the corporate metaverse is going to be about how to connect people and how to connect people that are working in different geographies, different time zones. So the first step into connecting people is finding a platform that everyone can use. And so Workplace by Meta has the opportunity to connect people with tools they're familiar with, let them go live, let them see each other, communicate likes, comments. It starts to really create that digital space where people can engage and be a part of a community.
You provide an overview of each level and its significance.
So if we start to think about the corporate metaverse as a matrix and as a way of what level are we at, how do we get to the next level, how do we make ourselves one bit better every day or 1% better every day, following kind of Simon Sinek and his infinite game. Level zero, everyone has to have some form of internet where they've got policies, documents, shared templates. So let's say the corporate metaverse level zero would be an intranet. Level one would be workplace and groups. So getting your people connected using the tech to talk to each other, posts, photos, creating community, resource groups, DEI initiatives, all kind of sit in level one. Level two would be your executive team, your leaders, your staff going live on Workplace and sharing stories, jump in and sharing an experience that's very important to the business or to a customer. So that whole concept of live broadcasts. And then level three would be Workplace with AR and VR. So how do you get to now workrooms or Horizon? How do you get to digitizing the human and then interacting in a virtual augmented reality space is level three. And we kind of need to probably define level zero would be kind of a laggard position. Everyone's got to be there. Level one would be a fast follower. Level two would be probably an innovator or leader in the space. Level three would be your disruptors or innovators slash disruptors.
Great. How do you see it transforming how organizations collaborate and communicate?
So this comes to actually how our workforce has changed in the last 4 years. Our workforces have all spread out. So it's not that we all come into the office every single day. There's days where people come in to be with their teammates. There's days where people work from home. People are working from different geographies, different locations. People work from the cottage, from the beach. So if we all have if many people have a vision of work where they want to, when they want to, we need to build tools to allow people or deploy tools to allow people to collaborate and communicate. Uh, Workplace or tools like Workplace are the foundational tools that allow us to change how and where we see people, how and where we interact with people. It allows a business to create that consumption economy for content.
In your opinion, what are some key benefits of integrating the workplace as internal communication tool and adding AR and VR technologies into the workplace?
So Workplace as your internal communications tool, I think is, again, to me, they're the leader in the space now for digital employee engagement. And I think they're doing something disruptive by leveraging consumer technology in an enterprise fashion. And when you look at adding AR, VR into that, you now start to look at how we can train people on dangerous situations, how we can have learning, education all done in real time, but maybe not without the risks we would have historically. And we're able to capture scenarios that would be very hard to capture before. A great example would be someone working on very high voltage electricity or doctors in an operating room. We can reduce the risk of learning by giving people experiences where they're in an augmented virtual reality state and can see and touch and feel things without a risk of an electrical burn or the risk of cutting the wrong piece of a human.
Okay. How can they enhance the overall employee experience?
enhancing the employee experience is going to come back to what content can you create that personifies your culture. So how do you have pieces of content created both like at all levels of the business or organization, because don't do businesses, but all levels of organization, content that's created that sucks me in and makes me want to listen. The example that I use most often when talking about this concept is we have passion talks at our office where we invite everyone in the business to have a 5-minute talk on a town hall to tell us about the things they're passionate about. So this is now everyone in the business creating connections. They're sharing things they're passionate about. And it humanizes everyone when we do work in this very remote, disparate fashion that we are today.
Great. I know you touched a little bit about the challenges in the previous question, but there's another one. So, as organizations transition towards the corporate metaverse, what challenges do you anticipate they may face? And also, how companies can address these obstacles and embrace the transition effectively?
The to me and from my experience, the largest challenges we're going to see as businesses move through the maturity levels of the corporate metaverse, the biggest one, number one for sure, is going to be change management and helping people adopt and adapt to the new technology. So change is hard. So change is going to be the first big roadblock that people get into. The second one is going to be content creation, and it's going to be on varying different extremes of what are our content governance policies? So what's acceptable content versus not acceptable content? What fits inside of our culture? So it'll eventually all come back to how do we define our culture digitally? And then the last one is making people comfortable that I do want to hear about people's passion. I do want to hear about the challenges they're having in their workday, and recognizing that people may not assume that everyone wants to hear about their workday challenges or their passions or what they want to do next.
Okay. In your point of view, how do you see the future of corporate metaverse evolving? As in, probably what trends are coming, or how do you envision it, like corporate metaverse in the near future?
The corporate metaverse is so new today, and we're seeing such huge volumes of change, even day by day. I think the big pieces of the future that I'd say are visible near time is it's going to happen. It's going to be real, and businesses need to start to build a plan around what they want to do. We can't just stick our heads in the sand and say we're a manufacturer. We don't need our corporate metaverse. Your customers are going to ask about it. Your employees are going to ask about it, and the future pieces I think will be that creating connections. I think it'll move quickly into AR, VR, and then it'll move into brand experience. So how do your customers experience your corporate metaverse? What does your virtual building look like? People creating 3D digital twins of their office space so that when you go into your Horizon workroom, you can go sit at your desk in Horizon workroom and you have the same view you have when you're sitting at your desk at the office. Or you can sit at any desk to get the view at their desk. So I think it's going to be lots of change, and the first few I think will all be about people getting experience in level 1 or level 2 of the corporate metaverse.
Got it. And lastly, I know you mentioned some as well, but what trends and developments should companies keep an eye on to stay ahead of the curve?
So I think the trends I'm observing is some of it is demographic and age related. So there's a lot of trends on, I'll say, the elder generation and the youngest generation both are actually pushing back where they're not sure they want it. The middle generation's adopting faster. So I think there'll be generational changes as the technology catches up or as the adoption of the technology catches up. That's back to that whole change management idea of we need to give people a reason to show up and consume the content or give people a reason to show up and create the content. I think the speed of change is probably the biggest trend. So something that was not possible yesterday is actually mainstream today and is being disrupted again tomorrow. So I think that the trend is speed, flexibility, and agility is what companies need to do to keep an eye on it. And I'd say everyone should be building plans into their strategic business plan to say, what are my top 3 experiments in the next 6 months on the corporate metaverse? I think that's really important to be in that, learn it all. We need to try things and experiment and fail so that we can stay with the curve, maybe not ahead of the curve.
Perfect. Okay, those are all the questions that I have for you today. Really interesting, very exciting. It's very, very cool to be working in tech right now with all these changes. I'm very interested in the corporate metaverse and AI. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Sandra. Okay.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.